Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So last week I asked some of you guys if you wanted to showcase your websites on my channel for some feedback and criticism. Now, instead of actually just giving you guys feedback, I decided to actually revamp and redesign the actual subscriber websites. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these people that are submitting these websites are beginner web designers looking to improve their skills. So I really commend the effort of them actually taking the first step in designing a website by themselves. But today in this video, I'll go ahead and give you some feedback on these websites, and I'll also show you what I created and how I revamped these websites. All right, so this is the first website. It is called SynchronizedSense.com. Now, I believe this person is selling something of like candles, right? So we can see that they are selling candles. And yeah, it looks like that's what their focus on is selling candles on their e-commerce websites. Now let's first go ahead and talk about the actual header. So the first thing I would suggest right here is this header is just too big in my opinion, right? So the logo is taking about, I wanna say 30% of the screen, which can be minimized to maybe just like 5%, right? You can probably inline the logo with the actual menu. One thing I do want to commend is the fact that this user, although they were a beginner, they at least kept their design and their colors consistent so the brand is easily recognizable. They chose one specific font and they chose this white, black, and pink color, which I do like. In fact, when I first started web design, I just threw a bunch of colors and I was like, my brand got lost right away. So I do like the fact that they kept this consistent. The next section right here is we have this Get My Debut EP collection. So there's a few things wrong here. So the text right here is aligned to the left. We have this bar up here, but instead of actually having the bar to the top, maybe we could have added this on the actual landing page or even put it below the image. The call to action is also a little confusing because it's put at a pretty much random place right here on the image. I would have made the text a little bit more aligned with the button to give it a little bit more structure. Also, the text right here is just a little bit too close to the edge of the screen. So with that said, I probably would have put this maybe even in the center, probably put the button in the center to give it more of a stronger call to action, right? All right, and the next section. So these right here are upsells, and I do like this. In fact, in my e-commerce tutorial, I did actually use blurbs, and this was trying to create confidence for the landing page. So this section right here, all it really needs is padding fixes. So we have these black lines. They're just too close to the top of the screen. In fact, they're touching, and it just looks a little cluttered, right? What I would have done here is I would have actually put all these under boxes, and I would have added a drop shadow under all of these sections to give it more emphasis, right? To make it more stronger. Because here we can see that the message is just a little weak and it's easy to get lost here. So yeah, I think just a few padding fixes here would have made this section a lot stronger. Next, we have this product section. Now, the only thing that I would critique here, I don't mind the actual colors, but this design right here, it's a new design and it kind of confuses the brand, right? So it confuses the identity of the website because we haven't really introduced this anywhere else on the website. So I would have said, I think we need to maybe just completely get rid of this. What I would have done here, if you want to get creative and push the limits, I would have added maybe even a small shadow of black on these letters, sort of like it's like a pink and black to kind of keep the brand going. But either way, I would have just completely got rid of these lines because it just doesn't matter. It's not consistent web design practices. So I would have just gotten rid of those. Right here, for these product images, I probably would have used just one style. So I like right here how you have this image right here and then another one that are identical. I would have kept that consistent throughout all of the products. And I also would have used higher res images. These images, they are a little blurry. So maybe just getting like a better camera and just taking better pictures and then using those for your products. I think that would have been a really good touch. I do like that. So one other thing I do want to critique as well is I'm a big fan of having circular buttons. I feel like when you add a border radius to these buttons here, it creates a more friendly environment, right? Like when you have these square hard buttons, it can be somewhat intimidating. In fact, that you're trying to sell candles, you want to kind of invite them in. So you want to have softer buttons, but yeah, that's that. Let's go ahead and keep going down here. And then we have our footer here at the bottom. The footer is a little large. In fact, the footer here is, again, probably maybe even 60, 70% of the screen if I scroll down. We have a lot of padding here. So just like on the header, we do have a lot of padding. Also, this section at the bottom, we probably could have combined all of this in one section and just made it a little bit more cleaner and more organized. So that is my, my advice and critique on the websites. But let me go ahead and show you guys how I remade this website, and you guys can let me know what you guys think of it. All right, so this is the original website, and let me go ahead and show you guys the revamp. You guys ready? Here we go. And here it is. Voila! So this is the new Synchronized Sense. So let me go ahead and just kind of zoom in here and show you guys how how all of this works and why we designed it this specific way. So the first thing is the landing page. We actually got rid of all that heading on the top, and we made the logo in line with the menu, and we actually just made the menu transparent. We felt that there was no reason to have such a large header, so we just kind of squeezed in the logo there with a really clean menu. We also got rid of like the cart and the checkouts because you could have added that as a drop down or just not included it at all if you don't want to. And here we have these candles, and we also have these flowers in the background trying to reinforce the product, right? And right here, this is a good example of reinforcing blurbs. We have these blurbs, right? We have the candles, and then we have the get it now. So we're actually telling the user to take action. And right below the call to action, we have free shipping, eco-friendly, hand poured. So right here, we're encouraging people to go for that button and take the first step and click on this call to action. So when you are creating buttons and upsells, you do want to sort of correlate them together to increase engagement on your websites. But it's a very friendly, I would say it's a very friendly landing page. It's very inviting. And also you notice here how we changed it to a circular button, because I felt like the circular buttons for this kind of website is a little bit more inviting for the actual visitor. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next section. All right, so the products, notice a few things. We actually got rid of the squiggly lines, right? And we just added just a standard message, this is our collection, and that's fine. We don't have to make it too creative. This right here will do the job just fine. And we wanted to make the products just a little bit more feminine and more inviting, right? So we decided to add border radius on everything. We want to make it circular. We want to make it more rounded because it's a little bit more inviting and friendlier, right? So here we go. We have the actual product. We added a border radius on the actual image. Here we have the reviews. And we actually added the border radius again to the button. We also added a border radius to the actual the outline of this color as well. We wanted to stay away from the square, and we wanted to keep the rounded design consistent throughout the website, because since we actually carry this on our homepage, we want to keep carrying this design throughout the website, because that's sort of like our brand at this time. So yeah, this is the products. They look great, and they're very easily identifiable because they all have this similar style to it. So when you are creating products, you do want to make sure that you keep the design consistent on the images, just so the brand is easily to be recognized. And then here we go. We got the footer. And we just, we made it really simple. So we just put the footer in there. We added in these social icons. We used the color schemes, but we just cleaned it up a little bit. On the original websites, the footer was just a little bit too large. It was very large. So we decided just to clean it up, right? Clean it up and be a little bit more brief with the footer. And yeah, we just throw in some social icons here at the bottom. So what did you guys think of this revamp? I think it's a great looking website. I think it has everything that it needs. It's inviting. The colors are also consistent. And I think the landing page here really gets the message across. And yeah, but don't take my word for it. Let me know what you guys think about it. You guys can critique my designs. Remember, I don't take anything personal. So you can say, well, Daryl, I disagree with that color, or I disagree with that, or I agree with that. No problem. Let me know in the comments below. All right, so that was the first website, SynchronizedSense. Also, if you do own this website, feel free to send me an email, and I'll go ahead and give you the PSD file or the PNG screenshot of what we revamped and recreated for you. Now let's go ahead and go on to website number 2. You guys ready? Here it is. We have Max Kainon. All right, Max Kainon. Welcome to Max Kainon Developer Community. All right, so it looks like this website here is selling web design services. Now, there's a few things here that I would critique. Number one, right here, we have this menu. I actually like the menu, how you did align it correctly. But the hot right here, it kind of blocks the services. So maybe just take off the hot, and I think the menu will be just fine. But the landing page I felt was just a little weak, right? It's not it's not engaging, it's not strong enough. And there's a few padding issues as well. So I believe this text is just too close to the actual header, right? Also, this text right here, it's stretched out too far. It's stretched out too far across the screen, and that is easily to get lost. So for example, if I come to this website, you know, I have to, an exclusive collaboration between, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's just very hard to read on the eyes. It's really long. It's almost like reading a book. So you want to go ahead and minimize that, make it a little bit more well-structured. And yeah, that's a quick, easy fix. But one thing also I do want to critique here is the colors. So we have whites, teal, yellow, blue, and then we also have this brown when we, you know, hover over it. So that's around 5 colors. We also have this one right here, which would be around 6 colors. So I would narrow this down to maybe 3 colors max. You know, 4 colors if you really want to get creative, but you got to be careful with that because the brand can easily get lost. But I would have basically remade this a little bit more stronger because it doesn't really focus on engagement. I'm not really inclined to click on Ask Now or Hire Us because it's just really not inviting. It's just really not strong enough. Now also we carried this design right here, this little squiggly slant, but I feel like this was just implemented a little bit too high. So we have this blue section, which is about, I would say this is about maybe 40% of the screen. And then below that, we have all this white. So I think making just a stronger landing page would have been a quick, easy fix for this section. Let's go ahead and scroll down here. All right, so we have your services, right? We have e-commerce websites, blog news, LMS website, and other websites. So I believe the user right here is creating websites for clients. One thing I would have done here is I would have kept this brand consistent. So we have this character, right? Yet we also have this character, which is from another like PNG family or another stock website. And then we have this one right here. So we're using too many different brands. We want to keep one brand consistent. So I kind of like this guy right here. And I would have probably used these figures throughout the website to keep the brand consistent. But here we go, e-commerce websites, blog news, LMS website, and other websites. Now, I would have just reinforced this section. I think this text right here in this line, it's just a little weak. It's also not properly structured. So we can see here how e-commerce website is sort of on the left side, yet this text kind of goes all the way right here, and it just looks a little messy. So maybe just reinforcing this section. Again, maybe adding like an outside box, put them in boxes, put a drop shadow, give it some more color, and just maybe center line the text would have been a really good touch for this section. And then below that, we have all services and 40% more. So this section right here, I'm just a little confused. Like as a customer, I don't know what you want me to do, you know? And also we have this 20% off and it's extremely small. I would have made that a lot larger and I would have combined it with something else to kind of push the user to take some sort of engagement on the website. Because here we have this text, it's just sort of stacked on top of each other and I'm not really sure what to do or where to go at this point. All right, and the next section right here, we have this, I believe this is some sort of like a new section you introduced, but this is a new color, right? It's somewhat of a new color that we don't have on the website. So I probably would have spaced this out. You know, this probably just needs a little bit more padding. I also would have kept the color brand consistent and not introduced too many colors. So this section right here, we have this new section, start your e-commerce business. Now, again, we have this slant, but this is like a different slant now from the original slant. So if you do want to add some sort of brand and slant to your site, I would have kept them consistent because at the top right here, we have this squiggly thing. And then now here, we're going with the slant. So I would have kept the design consistent. One thing also is I would not have added this brown color. I feel like we already have enough colors. And I think adding in another brown would have just been a little bit more confusing, and your brand and your identity of the website, it'll just get lost, right? Because users don't really know who you are anymore. It's like, is this another company? Is this another service? Why is there another color? I'm not sure. See, and then we have the characters here. So I do like the fact that we have these same characters. So these are like the brand now of the website. So also right here, you know, we actually have the brand as well. So I would have kept using these characters on the entire website to keep the brand consistent. But here we go. So now we have this section. Now this section right here just needs a little bit of padding space. It just needs padding. That's all. So you need to add more space on the top and also right here on the bottom. In fact, right here, we just have the text overlapping each other. So I would have just cleaned that up by adding in more padding, more space to this section. and maybe even add a call to action, right? So you want to take them, if you're talking about maintenance services, you'd want them to go to the page where you're talking about like maintenance services and stuff like that. And then here we have this other section. Now there's no real call to action here, right? We have the subscribe, but you're not telling them why you should subscribe. Maybe 20% off, maybe a free quote, maybe something to push them to take action. You want to get their email address, or you want to tell them that they will get something in return if they subscribe to your newsletter. And the footer. I like this footer. This footer is good. A+, good job. I like this. I think this is standard. I think nothing needs to be changed here. I mean, you could change something, but I think it's totally doable. I like this footer. Good job. So now that I've showed you guys this website, let me go ahead and show you guys what we have recreated and revamped. So here we go. This is the original website. You guys can tell this is the same website, and we revamped it into, you guys ready? Voila. The new Max Kainon website. So let's go ahead and take a look here and just take a look at what we've done right here, right? So what we first done right here is we made the brand and the message stronger, right? Because right here we have this Max Kainon right in front of your face. We have this image representing our business, and then we have these strong call to action. In fact, we even use this red color because we want to push people to click on this button. If you guys know anything about color psychology, reds are buttons, colors where you want them to take action, right? So it is a small hint of red, yet also it's a small hint of orange because we want to also be friendly at the same time. So you can see here how this message is just a little bit more stronger. And when we go back to the original websites, the message here is just very, it can get lost very quickly, and it's really not inviting for users to actually take any call to action. So that's why we completely remade this section. And the services. All we did here was we just wanted to make every category more special, right? So now every category has its own box, and when you add its own box and you give it its own presentation, it just becomes a little bit more special, right? So it's like, yeah, we offer e-commerce websites, blog news websites, LMS websites, and other websites. So I think making some sort of emphasis on these, because you don't want to dilute, or you don't want to put other websites in other different priorities. You're gonna say we specialize in everything evenly. Therefore, we are gonna create the box. Every topic gets its own box, its own size, and it just looks good. That's how I would recreate this section right here. And let's keep going down. All right, so the next section. So we actually got rid of the phone and everything because this section right here, we just felt that it just, it's very easy. The message is very mixed, and I'm just very confused as to what's going on here. So we just got rid of that section, and we wanted to just introduce the next services, right? So here we have building a mobile app exclusively for a single platform. We just took that and we just made it its own section, because that's a very big thing. An application is a lot of work. So I think an app deserves its own large section, right? Not just some sort of quick little brief intro, right? So here we go. We have building a mobile app. We give them a picture. So this is basically text to kind of strengthen the app, right? We have the image to reinforce, saying this is what you're gonna get. And then we have the button right here to say, take some action now. So we gave you the message, we showed you the image, now take some action. So we have those three elements. And I think if you have this, it's a lot stronger than just having no call to action at all, right? You gotta tell them to go somewhere. Next, we have the bug fixes and maintenance services. So we like the bug. I like the bug you put in there. It was a cool little bug. And it's pretty much almost the same thing, but we got rid of the brown because the brown was just a little inconsistent throughout the design process. We added this very light shade of blue. We didn't want to add it in another dark section right here because we wanted to keep the font black and keep the design consistent. So here we go. We have bug fixes and maintenance services. We have an image of the bug, and we have some other icons to upsell the product. And then we have a red call to action to take some sort of action to purchase maintenance plans. And then below that, we have the email subscribe. The only thing that we've done here is we just added some padding issues, right? We added some padding, and then we added a message here. So 20% discounts on this ultimate support access. We want them to subscribe for a reason. So that's why we added in this message here saying, if you guys subscribe, we will give you 20% off. Sounds good? But the original message here, there was just nothing here. So there is really no reason or incentive for users to, to give you their email. So we just added in a quick message. But we liked your footer so much, we kept the footer on the actual website. So what do you guys think of these revamps? This is the customer's original websites, and this right here was the actual revamp that we have recreated for the subscriber. Also, if you are the owner of this company, just give me your email, go ahead and shoot me an email, and I'll go ahead and send you the PSD file, so maybe you can implement this design on your new websites. So those are the revamps I've created for my subscribers. What did you guys think of them? Now, I do want to also commend both of these users for actually taking the first step and watching a video and actually taking action and starting a web design business or a website. So I do really like that. I like the entrepreneurship that both of these users had. Now, if you guys are not sure about your web design skills, just ask somebody. Just go ahead and say, hey man, what do you think of this website? When I first got started with web design, I was really bad and I took things very personal. So when people said, oh, this website doesn't look that good, Daryl, I thought they were just being mean to me. I'm like, man, that's messed up, man. This is my website. And I felt, I had a personal connection to my websites. But just keep focusing on your design skills, ask around, take a look at other websites, see how they're doing. And then from there, your web design skills can probably develop. If you guys like these videos, let me know if you guys want to see more of these videos or if you want me to revamp other users' websites. My name is Daryl Wilson, and I will see all of you party people in the next video, guys. Take care.